We would like to welcome you today as this webinar will help provide information to support our ECE educators in Texas. And we are doing this in collaboration with TEA and the TECPDS team, which is the Texas Early Childhood Professional Development System. And we have Dr. Tracy Jones, who is here to present. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, so thank you so much for joining everybody today. My name is Dr. Tracy Ann Jones, and I'm the Assistant Director at the Texas Early Childhood Professional Development System, and that is quite a mouthful. So we call it TEPADS, and we're located at the Children's Learning Institute at UT Health Science Center in Houston. Lauren, would you like me to go ahead, or would you like to go back to those goals?
Yes, so before I get started, I'm always notorious for not introducing myself. So I'm Lauren Gomez. I'm the Curriculum and Instruction Specialist for the Early Childhood Department. I have the pleasure not only of working on the pre-K guidelines, which you may have seen me in webinars, but I am also able to help support our high quality pre-K teacher qualifications. And so what we really want to stress with this webinar is the goal of creating that collaboration with TEA and TECPDS and supporting the high quality pre-K teacher qualification option, which is the most used option between indicators for the high quality components. And that really is there to help support professional development and coaching hours. So today, Dr. Tracy Jones will be going in depth on the benefits of using TECPDS, and what we really want to stress is how this supports collect those PD hours that help support the high quality option. And this really helps regardless of movement from school or district locations, which is really helpful. It helps our LEAs help with cross-checking those PD hours and the content for accountability, since we do need to make sure that our components are ECE related. There is a benefit to our district and site coaches and trainers who can create those certificates of PD attendance. And then assisting us here at TEA to really look at the data and see how we can better support the field with professional development. So with that being said, I will pass it on to Dr. Tracy Jones.
Thank you so much, Lauren. I appreciate it. So as I said, my name is Dr. Tracy Ann Jones. I'm the Assistant Director at TEPADS, and I'm so glad to have been invited to talk to you today about the resources on TEPADS. As a former teacher, as a former director or principal, I truly appreciate the work that you do every day. It's incredibly important, and I want to share today some resources with you that will help you support you and or staff in career development. We're going to be covering making the most of the Texas Workforce Registry. So you're going to get a 1-hour training certificate today. We'll be using the TEPADS certificate generation tool and a QR code at the very end. So if you're used to coming to trainings with me and putting your name and center or school name in the chat, you do not need to do that, because we'll get the information at the end. What I do want to say though is, if you have a question, if there's something you want clarifying or repeating, please put it in the chat. Lauren's going to keep an eye on the chat as we talk, and she'll stop me. Now I can just talk and talk and talk and talk all day long without taking very much of a breath. So don't worry about interrupting me. Just put your chats in as they come to you. We'll take a moment and we'll try to answer your question as best we can. Or I might ask you to wait a moment and we'll cover it in a slide. So let's get moving. The goal of today's webinar is to be a resource of support for educators who want to learn more about TEPADS and the benefits of using the system to support the high quality teacher qualification requirements through professional development and coaching option. That was quite a mouthful. I was afraid I was not going to be able to get that whole sentence out in one go. So I did that. I was successful. The rest of this training should be pretty easy. As such, our learning objectives are going to be covering several topics. These are things that we would like you to know about by the end of the training. We want you to understand the benefits and uses of a TEPADS account. We're going to be talking about resources that are available on TEPADS that include user support and how to access trainings and how-to guides. So important that you know how to use these things. Tracking professional development and looking at our career pathways and advancements. This is very important for that high quality piece that we just discussed. The core competencies for a variety of roles, including practitioners, teachers, administrators, and specialists, such as coaches. So hopefully one of those roles fits you today. And finally, we will learn about where to get support on TEPADS if you need it. So as a quick overview for those of you that might know nothing about TEPADS, our system houses two different components, two main components. You can see here that we have the Texas Trainer Registry under the umbrella. It's a statewide system that approves early childhood trainers and their trainings. The Trainer Registry offers resources for all early childhood professionals who deliver training, and all TEPADS accounts have access to these trainer features. It's important to note that the tool can be used as free for non-registered trainers. You just don't have that TEPADS approval, but you can use all of the tools for free. On the other side of the umbrella is the Texas Workforce Registry, and it's a web-based database where you as an early childhood professional can store and access your education and employment history, along with your professional development hours that you completed. Think of it as a repository, a bank, for where all of your records can go in safely and securely. Your free account will allow you to create and update your professional development profile, view your professional development profile, and link to your center or school of employment, which is a really important step. The reports created on TEPADS will help support your career development and documentation of those hours that you have done. These two components really work well together to support each other. So, what are the benefits of the account? Why should you get one? There are many benefits, including that it is a free account that you can keep for always, regardless of where you work. If you're in one school district today and you move to another school district tomorrow, the account goes with you, and so do all of your records that are in there. This account allows you to easily upload and enter your information about your professional experience, your training, and your education. And if you already have a CLI Engage account, which many of you may have, you can opt into TEPADS for an account and have direct access to your reports and career lattice from your CLI Engage account. Any professional development courses that you take on CLI Engage will automatically transfer into your TEPADS accounts once they are linked. If you do have accounts that are not yet linked, don't worry, you can turn in a help ticket and we can quickly make that a connection for you, resolve your issue. We will discuss how to use the Help Center later in this webinar. TEPADS is also integrated with Childcare Education Institute, their platform, CCEI, and later, actually on the 1st of the month, tomorrow, we will be integrated with Texas A&M AgriLife Learn. Many of you may know that there are lots of free training on AgriLife that you can use towards your professional development. Any courses taken on any of these platforms will automatically transfer into your TEPADS account as a verified record. So be on the lookout for information about these partnerships in the coming weeks. Yes.
I'm so sorry. I was gonna cut in. We do have a quick question. Does this only include Texas employment and professional development?
Can somebody expand on that question, please? So
Yes,
Texas employment.
Caroline, yes. Okay.
You can put in, the TEPADS system lets you document your training records, such as training certificates, your education documents like your diploma, and where you work. So I'm not sure if that answered your question. If you could follow up with a little bit more detail for Lauren, perhaps Lauren can ask the question in another way. So I am answering what you need answering. And I'll just continue while you two chat. One of the most significant benefits of the account is the ability to create these career pathway reports and individual profile reports. Think of it like a very detailed resume. These reports will help guide your future development, including where you stand on your career pathway and how you can advance in your profession on this pathway. So the first thing I'd like to do today is look at where you can find some resources on TEPADS. That's the main goal today, is what is available to you and how can you use it, but where can you find it? Let's start out at looking at a brand new page on TEPADS that helps you learn how to navigate the system a little bit better. I highly encourage that you use this page if you're brand new to TEPADS. You can select the Help Center at the top of the page, and it brings down a drop-down list of pages, and select Webinars and Presentations. This is one of my favorite pages. We host regular webinars just like this one to support you with creating your account, completing your professional development profile, but by putting in your records, those education, training, and experience records, and planning your next steps in your career. You can join these sessions live. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter to receive notifications about when those are. Or you can find recorded sessions right here on this page. I will say that attendees comment that they really like the lunchtime learning series sessions because we do a live click through of particular pages so that the user can follow along and learn how to do specific functions on TEPADS, such as uploading records and connecting to schools. You will see me as a user doing everything that you would need to do in order to complete those pages. Lauren, did you have any additional feedback from that question?
Yes, it was, for example, if you were to bring in professional development, let's say from another state, or take that record with you from Texas to another state. Okay,
that's a really great question, and I'll answer that. We have what is called the National Workforce Registry Alliance, that the states that have workforce registries are a part of. It's a volunteer participation, and we are working through processes where you will, in the future, hopefully be able to take, if you live in Texas today, and you move to Ohio, you can transfer those records right into the Ohio system. It is not available yet. Some states have been piloting it. So there's a few states that work together to make that happen, but it is something that we'd like to do in the future if we are able. So great question. So back to the training, the next pages that I'd like to discuss are the workforce registry pages. So this is what the whole training is on today. What is the workforce registry? How do you use it? How do I get started? And so I really recommend using the drop-down box under the workforce registry and selecting the getting started pages that's highlighted here with the red arrow. And there is a link to this page that Lauren's going to drop in the chat for you. The Getting Started page has lots of resources all located in one place, and it includes topics such as how to create and log in to your TEPADS account, how to complete your TEPADS profile by adding those professional development records, how to connect to schools or centres, how to use the career advancement tools and reports, and even how to become a registered trainer if that's something that would interest you. From this page, you can download a copy of the Start Guide, which was created to show you all the features on the dashboard. Sorry about that. I really like this page because each of those things that I just discussed have a link with them that takes you directly to a resource that will show you step by step how to do it. And there's the link. So the next thing we're going to discuss is professional development tracking. There are many resources on TEPADS to support you in tracking your professional development. And when you use these routinely, they will support you on your career pathway. The first thing that we're going to discuss is professional development reports. And these are for both you as an individual, or they can be for schools and administrators to see everybody's. Think of these as a very detailed resume showing all of your education, experience, and training in one place. And imagine having that big long list of all the training that you've done in the last year, the last 2 years, the last 3 years. It's very easy to lose these documents, especially when you transfer from one school district to another school district. I have lost more records than I've kept, and also paper documents are subject to things happening to them. I was in Hurricane Harvey and my home flooded, and for 6 months I had no access to any of my documents, such as my my diplomas and my transcripts and my training records. But I was able to go into TEPADS and retrieve all those documents just by logging in. The second that we're going to talk about is Career Pathway Report. And this report looks at all the information that we just talked about that you've put in, and it creates a report showing where you are on your career pathway from an entry level, you're a beginner, you've just started, all the way to level 9, where you're the most advanced. This is a sample professional development report, and it can be printed by you at any time. It contains all of the training, education, and work experience that you enter or that you've had synced into your account from those different platforms that I talked about. Remember earlier I said that you can have training records sent over from CLI, Engage, etc. This is going to be how they show up in your account. The first section of the report shows you an overview of your professional development achievements. For example, right at the top, you can see your highest level of education displayed there and the number of years experience. This is a great way to be able to show off your achievements, what you have done already. You'll also notice that there's a level bar at the top of the screen that has 2 different levels. They may be different, they may be the same. The self-reported level, shown in purple, documents your level based on all the documents that you have entered. So in this case, I would have a self-reported level of 8, which is a highly advanced professional. They've got a lot of education. They've got this particular person has a master's degree and lots of college coursework in education or early childhood. The level that is in green is our verified level, and it documents your level based on what documents have been reviewed by TEPADS staff. At this time, TEPADS only verifies records for Texas Rising Star early learning programs. So unfortunately, it isn't open to the general public yet, but we will let you know if that becomes available. So these reports also display the trainings that you've entered or had synced. When records are entered into TEPADS, you'll always have access to them and be able to print them out. And this is one of the wonderful things about the system. You never need to lose any of those documents. The account is yours. It will always be yours. If you change emails, we can change the email for you. You're always going to have access. You can see the green little circle under transcript certificate. You can actually click on that and it will open up the certificate for you. And then you can print that certificate out. As you can probably see, these TEPADS profile reports can support you in displaying all of that information that you need to meet that high quality teacher qualification requirements. There's a lot of information that TEA or your school district wants you to provide to meet that requirement. In these TEPADS reports, you can document all that training, education, and coaching. You can put it into the TEPADS system and have a report that shows how you've met that requirement. So I'm going to take a moment there. I gave a lot of information, and this is a very important piece. The goal is for you to have a useful tool that will let you get your documents in and document that high quality teacher qualification piece. Are there any questions around that?
Yes, I have a question, ma'am.
Go ahead.
If we're coaching teachers, would we be able to set something up where we would be able to input the hours that we have been coaching the teachers?
Yes, what a great question. So yes, TEPADS, remember we talked about the trainer registry, and we have these tools that are available to individual trainers that are providing training. They're also available to organizations. I just spoke to Lauren about possibly using this to provide certificates for other webinars that she has. So I'm not sure which school district you work for or program, but yes, there is the ability to use the same TEPADS certificate generation tool that I'm using today to document those coaching hours and put them directly into your attendees' TEPADS account, so they don't have to do the work of documenting it. It can be automatically done for them. So did that answer your question?
Yes, yes, it did. Thank you very much.
So the only follow-up I would have on that is if you are interested in that, you know, talk about it within your workplace, and then you can turn in a help ticket on our system. We'll cover it towards the end of the slide. You can turn in a help ticket and ask about using that service, and someone will get back to you and tell you what would be the best route for you to utilize those services. But yes, we definitely want to get these coaching hours that teachers are having documented so that they can meet this high quality teacher qualification piece. Lauren, do you have anything additional that you'd like to mention while we're talking about that piece?
Yeah, I mean, at this moment, within TEA, we are just really interested in looking at the data, like I said, how we can support the field better, even if it's certain professional development topics that can help be reflected within TEPADS, and just encouraging the use of it. There are a lot of benefits to the system. So if there are specific high quality pre-K teacher qualification questions, you can ask me separately, but we are really, this tool is just great for the field.
So there is another question in here that Melissa asked. Melissa, that would be my same responses. Please turn in a help ticket with the question onto TEPADS and someone will get back to you. It's hard to do specifics for individuals, but that is the best route to finding out what the best pathway is for you. Okay, great questions. Okay, so this slide has a lot of text, so we're gonna wade through through this piece. The second type of report that you can print out is a career pathway report. The Texas Early Learning Council developed the career pathway for early childhood professionals in Texas. And the career pathway relates to the professionals' training hours, their work experience, and other factors that place you on a position on a career pathway. Again, from entry to expertise in the early childhood field. Additionally, professionals can advance on the career pathway by gaining more professional experience or obtaining additional education credentials. For example, if you had a high school diploma, you would obtain a CDA or an associate's or even beyond. The Texas Early Career Pathway defines those levels of knowledge and skill mastery for teachers and administrators within the early childhood profession. And it identifies steps for advancement. The career pathway is a voluntary tool intended to work in concert with the core competencies that we'll mention in just a little while. The Texas core competencies detail the knowledge and skills that early childhood practitioners, professionals should possess in order to be successful in their careers. As you advance on the career pathway, the expectation is that the level of practice improves. Thus, the career pathway levels are aligned with corresponding categories such as beginner competencies, intermediate competencies, and advanced competencies. I know that was a lot, and we're going to break it down a little bit in the coming slides. I'm going to take 1 second to look at a question. Tiffany asked, as a coordinator, can I input PD offered within our district for those pre-K teachers? So each individual has their own account, and each teacher should keep their login and password private, and those should not be shared. But there are ways for people to connect to a school in a district where an administrator of that school can support the teachers by entering data into the system for the teachers. So if you would like to know more about how administrators, staff at a school can support their teachers in getting data into their TEPADS account and being able to pull up these reports and document these requirements, you are welcome. Turn in a help ticket. Let the person know you watched the webinar today. For all of these help tickets, feel free to say, I was in a webinar with Dr. Tracy Ann Jones today, and I have this question. And that way the question will come directly to me and I'll be able to support you, or one of my staff will be able to support you. Great. So this is what the career pathway looks like in the document. The early childhood pathway defines those levels of knowledge, skill, and mastery for practitioners, teachers, and administrators, and it identifies steps for advancement. You can see here in the green, those are beginner levels of practice. In the purple, it is advanced levels of practice, and in the intermediate, and in the orange, it is advanced. So this is the physical document that you can use to find out where you are on your career pathway. The nice thing is we have a tool in our system called Find My Career Pathway, and it automatically does that for you. You don't have to do it yourself, and it will print out a nice report. As I was talking about that, I mentioned the Texas core competencies for administrators and practitioners. As mentioned, these competencies detail the knowledge and skills that early childhood professionals should possess in order to be successful in the field. If you would like more information about these and other competencies, such as ones for specialists, coaches, trainers, you can go to the navigation at the top of the page, select resources, and then go to Texas Core Competencies. TEPADS also features core competencies for early childhood specialists who deliver training, coaching, and mentoring. And it sounds like there are a few of you on this training today. So please make sure that you do access these competencies and review them. For more information, they are on the resources page. And please note that these are available in English and in Spanish. I just mentioned that the competencies were available in Spanish, but I should also mention that the whole website is available in Spanish. You can go back and forth by selecting the language preference at the top of the page. For many early childhood educators, it is a lot easier for them to enter data and utilize a system that is in their home language. And so that is why the system is in Spanish as well as English. And it is always updated. If we updated a piece on English, we also update it in Spanish at the same time. If you want to learn more about the Texas Core Competencies, you can go and complete free training on CLI Engage. I'm not sure, Lauren, if you could pop that link into the chat for us. There are trainings on there that were designed for use by early childhood professionals to improve the quality of care and education for young children. And if you connect your TEPADS account and your CLI Engage account prior to completing the courses, then those certificates will directly go into your TEPADS account. The link right down here at the bottom will take you to the training modules. There is another resource I want to highlight in early childhood education. We are such a diverse field. When you receive your career pathway report, there are several useful links that you can use to support your career journey. One of these is the Texas Directory for Careers in Early Childhood. And I'm going to say, I wished I'd had this when I was 20 years old and starting out in the field. I started out as a nanny, progressed to be an assistant teacher, progressed to be a teacher and then director. And to be perfectly honest, I had no idea what the next steps were in my career. And so with this document, you'll find the descriptions of many career options we have in the field of early childhood. And for each career, there's a description of the role, information on the qualifications needed, and the salary ranges that can be expected. So I hope you find this to be a useful tool. About 2 years ago, I was getting ready to go and do a statewide tour, meeting with all of our providers all over Texas. And so we created a professional development self-assessment tool that teachers and administrators could use during the training. It was going to be one of the activities that we did to encourage people to consider where they were on their professional journey and where they wanted to go and where the gaps were. So you can use the TEPADS professional development self-assessments for your personal professional development planning and to support your staff if you have them. You can align your professional development to those Texas core competencies that we discussed. You can identify gaps in your education or your training, and then plan your next professional development opportunities around those gaps. When selecting your next professional development opportunity, look for conferences or sessions aligned to those that you are missing on your professional development plan. And that way you will make sure that you meet your goals. These are a printable resource under that resources section that you can print out for yourself or anybody that you would like to look at them. So as you can see for this slide, sometimes people need a little extra support. So I've added a few examples of questions that we get through our help center. Those tend to be, I cannot log into my TEPADS account, or my TEPADS account is not connected to my school or center. My TEPADS account is not connected to CLI Engage, and this could be CCEI and AgriLife starting tomorrow. I have duplicated accounts on my TEPADS, or I cannot bind or upload certificates in my TEPADS account. Is anybody out there having any of those problems? Hopefully not, but if you are, the Help Center is your best resource. If you ever experience difficulties while using TEPADS and you need assistance, please do go to the TEPADS homepage, and you can select the Help button at the top of the page. And you can select how-to guides to get information on a subject or submit a help ticket. So for those of you that had a few questions and you're going to need a little bit of more individualized help than I can offer you today during this training, these are the two best places to go. And I highly recommend that if you experience difficulties, go to these early. We really will help you out. We have a service level agreement that says we're going to get back to you within 3 business days or 20 business hours. So you just need to turn in one ticket. But we don't want you to get frustrated before you get to this point. We want you to turn in a help ticket as soon as you need it. If you do choose to submit a help ticket, it's that image on the left-hand side of your screen. You'll enter all of the information requested in the form so that our support team can assist you. It may be helpful to take a screenshot of the issue. You can use your camera and take a picture of it and upload it into the ticket as well. If you're more comfortable with how-to guides, you like to do things yourself and try to figure it out yourself, you can go to the how-to guides, enter a search word to search, see the red arrow where the keywords are, and you can get step-by-step instructions. Just a tip on the help tickets, the more detailed, the better response that you will get. So if you just say, I can't log in, someone's going to have to get back to you and ask what in particular you're having problems with. But if you say, I can't log in because my email has changed and I need to change the email to log in, we can help you with that very quickly without a lot of back and forth. On the how-to guides, please note there are PDFs that you can print out with the step 1, step 2, step 3, etc. that you can use or share out. Sometimes there are videos, they're very short, 1 to 2 minutes, that do the little click-throughs of what you will need to do. And then on occasion, it will also reference those lunch and learns. So remember those on that webinars and presentations. It's a really easy way. If you don't know how to connect to your center, if you watch me connecting to a center and you follow along with it, it's going to make it easier for you to do it. Okay, so we're about done. We're going to stop here for a moment. Do not scan this QR code. I'll tell you all about it in a moment. But I wanted to ask if there are any questions at this time about what we discussed, or is there something that you need to know a little bit more about you didn't quite understand as I was going through this very high level overview of what's on TEPADS. I'll give you a moment to, you can unmute or you can put the message in the chat, and I'm going to take a sip of my drink while you do that.
I will share a direct message question. Someone who is an adjunct professor at UTA, an ECE coordinator, would they meet the requirements for applying as a Texas trainer through TEPADS?
Absolutely. And if you work at a university or a college, there is an expedited process that you can use. So please turn in the help ticket, let us know, and we'll send you the directions about how to use the expedited process so you don't have to do all of the steps. Makes it a lot easier for you. Great question.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We want highly qualified individuals, and we know that people that are already providing training at colleges and universities are meeting that.
So I just need to submit the help ticket and that's it, and then put more information about the process.
Yes, we'll send you a document with the details about how to do that.
Okay, appreciate it.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Any other great questions like that?